Whoa, that's so cool!
Is the only reaction I want when visitors come to my house. And I think I found some of the best home tech accessories, decor, and collectibles to get it. So let's check it out. I never gave a house tour in our last episodes, and while I still don't want to, unless y'all comment otherwise down below, I will go over the house upgrades we decided on, as this was a new build when we bought it. So we did have a few options to choose from, but most of which I do regret, like glass railings, because fingerprints galore. The NUOELL appliances were a free upgrade and included with the house, but barely has any space. And yeah, it's super clean because we never actually use it. What I do regret is this microwave that costs $3,000 plus another $800 to get it installed in the cabinets. I wanted the ones that could pull out completely, but ended up just getting a folding door. Each washroom has a Panasonic Whisper fan, which was $400 each and was actually worth it. The 8-foot doors are something I also like because it makes the rooms feel a little more grandiose. I'm a sucker for all things blackout, even when it comes to my shower. Unfortunately, this $4,000 upgrade barely has any water pressure. What's even worse is this rectangular drain upgrade, which at first I thought was smart and cool, but as you can tell, doesn't drain any water. I still love my home though, and thankfully there are easier and way more affordable ways to upgrade it. Like one of my favorites from SnapPower, a GuideLight built into an outlet. So you don't have to stare at this anymore. These are great because when they're not in use, you don't even know it's there. And installation was that simple, I did it with one hand. And now when it gets dark, well, bam. Not only does it look way more sleek, it's nice and soft and covers just enough of the floor that it allows you to see where you're going. And now you also get both your outlets back. The light sensor also doubles as a controller for 3 different modes, which I have no idea what they do, but you should just leave it on this one. It makes the outlet a little thicker to accommodate all the LEDs, but the best part is that it's completely hidden under, so you don't see it when not in use. I'm trying to swap them out in most of my hallways for that walkway light, as it's literally just 2 prongs. Unfortunately, this doesn't solve my cable management problems.
I no longer hate cleaning at home because I don't have to do it anymore, as this baby can crawl better than an actual baby. Packed with features like edge and corner reaching, mopping, and packs 20,000 pascals, which simply means this vacuum, well, sucks real good. I'll be the first to admit the Dreame X50 Ultra is not cheap, but if you're looking to save time and not have to worry about your guests judging your dirty floors, then their new dual brush is a game changer for all the hair that your girlfriend leaves on the floor. Now, we're not going in depth in this video, but I do want to highlight what makes this vacuum special, especially as someone who, well, never cleans, but with 2 kids of my own, yeah, they're cute, but dirty AF. But still cute. First off, what matters the most is how well it cleans. We've got mostly hardwood around the house, but it's also smart enough to lift the mop pads auto-magically to avoid soaking your carpets too. Corners and edges have no chance thanks to the extending brushes and mops. It gets right up in there, but you know we had to test it to the max. So after digging through and finding mostly expired spices, it recognized the mess, docked and magnetically connected the mop pads, and the X50 Ultra was surprisingly able to handle even the stickiest of messes. And the best part, you don't have to remove or clean the dirty mop pads yourself, as the dock itself will wash the mop pads. and then dry them out so they don't stink up. It's also super easy to pour out the dirty liquid and refill the clean ones too, so now you don't have to worry about it dragging any old dirt around. And around it goes, because its navigation system is like having Google Maps built into your home. Able to recognize and label over 200 common objects and encounters and avoid accordingly. Combined with their new VersaLift navigation, it retracts its LiDAR, turns on the flashlight, and then is able to clean under furniture that even you're scared to look into. Lastly, with the Tonka truck wheels they installed on this beast, they've developed the Pro Leap system, able to handle your everyday wires and door sills, but also whoopam, double legs to lift it over steps, ledges, and obstacles up to 6 centimeters in height. So no more limiting it to certain rooms or having it get stuck and have to reset it every time. So just when you thought vacuums couldn't get any more exciting, they made climbing ones. And if you're like me and looking to save some time on chores, links and details down below. I'm a huge fan of random knickknacks that you look at and just think, how do I convince my girlfriend that I need this to survive moving forward? This rare Casio DW5600 wall clock that was only available through a promo a few years ago, or in my case, eBay. It's a no-brainer for any G-Shock fan, and while it fits a little big on my wrist, this will easily catch anyone's attention walking into your home. If not, just to nerd out about all things watches and indestructible things. Sure, this one's all plastic and just a giant digital face, but somehow the details and paint job goes even harder on this than an actual DW5600. 8.5 out of 10. Would buy again, and yeah, I have a weird obsession with unique clocks.
This spare bedroom definitely needs some work and will be a project to tackle in a later video because it's literally got 2 thrifted bedside tables, a closet of random clothes we haven't organized since moving in, and this stunning vase for decor, obviously. And this IKEA bed, which I have nothing against IKEA. It was the first bed I got when I moved out of my parents' house. It's cheap, large, and served me well for sleeping and chilling. But it's one of those, if you didn't know better existed, then you wouldn't know how much your sleep could improve.
Yo, it's actually cold.
Oh. And memory foam too. So when Helix wanted to partner with their mattress topper without having to get rid of all the memories from my old mattress, sign me up. Nowadays, this bed is mainly used for friends and family who just need to crash. Sleepovers with nieces and nephews who love to jump on everything. And when my girlfriend kicks me out for snoring too much. Which happens more often than not. It used to be on the couch, which sucked for my aging back, and because it's where our big TV is, I couldn't stop binging K-dramas all night and never actually sleeping. Thankfully, having a dedicated backup bed has been a lifesaver. Plus, I instantly knock out, given this is way more comfortable too.
I've got the luxury plush version, which not only sounds premium, but the hybrid memory foam and micro coil support makes even my old mattress feel new again. Combined with the Glaciotex cooling cover, which makes me actually prefer the backup bed in the summer over my own bed. So if you're like me and want a simple way to upgrade your sleep while saving some moolah, links and details in the description down below.
Sunrise.
One of my favorite upgrades and probably the most expensive, say it with me, electronic shades, which I fully admit is a very privileged thing to have, but honestly, I've worked hard my whole life and deserve this, because doesn't every young boy grow up dreaming of waking up to auto magically rolling shades? I even paid for the built-in wiring, anticipating it one day, and today is the day. This is literally the moment that I knew I've made it in life. But a huge shout out to Lutron for hooking up the discount, because while there are plenty of affordable options out there, even IKEA offers electronic options too. Lutron is by far the most reliable that you'll find on any Reddit post talking about roller shades, and you bet I read them all because I still had to pay a hefty chunk of change even after the discount for how many windows I've actually got. Thankfully, installation was surprisingly easy because I got my dad to do it. My cousin also had the right tools to DIY the rest, and I got most of them wired up with a few shades using C batteries that are advertised to last years before needing to be replaced. So no more stick-on shades, and hello smooth operating shades that have more Riz than you do. It's consistent in performance, accurate in positioning, and I've got this slightly off-white color that blends perfectly with the whole room. Once you connect the shades to the hub, the Lutron app gives you all the control right on your phone, with the ability to create scenes like movie time or when you feel frisky, schedule when you want to open or close it based on the time of day, and seeing them all work in unison is like having a butler for your windows. I went with a semi-blocking shade, keeping out most of the sun during the day, and they've got optional dedicated remotes, so you don't have to rely solely on your phone or confuse the heck out of your guests. Plus, with the smart home integration,
Hey Siri, open living room window.
it gives you Tony Stark mansion vibes, with my favorite being the automations that you can set, like when leaving the house and having the blinds auto-magically know to close. I also performed a sound comparison test while playing a video. You can definitely hear the shades working, but given it takes only about 20 seconds to close, it doesn't bother me enough to care. Plus, when it comes time to change the batteries, you simply pull the faceplate down. And finally, at night, it works perfectly to block out any peeping toms, which includes yourself on the inside too. Look, I do not recommend you get this unless you're crazy like I am and only want the best of the best, even when it comes to window shades.
If you lived through the 2000s as a kid, then you probably got one of these as a gift. Being able to look at it every day really brings me down memory lane.
Now, there's something about seeing the insides of tech, especially retro tech, that make you think, I could have made that. So seeing Grid Studios offering of all things cool blown up in a flat lay brought back some hidden memories I had as a child growing up with the actual devices. Now, we don't usually show unboxings, but this I wanted to highlight given how fragile these may look. These were packaged really well and got here safely. The whole experience unboxing felt like opening a gift, but to yourself. However, the hardest part though is finding somewhere worthy of displaying my childhood.
So I think I've decided to put it in my home office so that I can stare at it all day. And originally I wanted it above here, but it's gonna be a little tight. I do have this space here, which I think would work a lot better.
They do provide wall mounts, but you can honestly use whatever. Combined with a few simple tools, just make sure you try and at least get it pretty straight. But once these clicked into place, they look good no matter the time of day, especially with the whole 3D effect to it. The shadows shine differently every time you look at it.
It's a little off, but we're all about that janky life.
And the final product, which you'll probably examine super closely, is all precisely stuck in place with no leftover glue, nails, or misprints anywhere, as these were actual devices that they had to disassemble, clean, and I assume lay each one out by hand.
Fun fact, this was my first ever Apple product I ever owned. I mean, not this exact one, but you get the point.
The included frames are one size fits all. Thankfully, I'm a fan of the all black blocky look, and the glass cover keeps it safe from kids who might think it's the real deal.
It's even got the original icons. Who remembers these? We still have a bunch of the Game Boy ones, which is pure nostalgia. This one's playing Tetris. So let me know, what room should we put these in?
Like most of you though, I've got a room dedicated to my Pokemon collection. Investment portfolio. So I figured if I'm going to spend all that money on cardboard, I should at least try and show it off. Enter the Nanoleaf collaboration with Fantaqi and their EXPO smart LED display cases. Not only do they light up with a bright, soft RGBW strip light inside, the magnetic door keeps it all covered while being easily accessible, and it's large enough to fit up to a pair of sneakers. Setup was a slight struggle with how many there were, but becomes a sport once you've done about 10 of them. I picked out the space right at the bottom on my stairs as the perfect spot for anyone entering the man cave, so they can instantly know what the vibe is about to be. And come on, how perfect is this fit to the door? I've got the 12 pack, but it can expand and sync up to 300 if you're balling out. And seeing it build up is just super satisfying too, as this is all powered with a single cable. Setting up the app was a little finicky, taking a few tries, which was kind of annoying, but thankfully the physical controls offers all the settings you need right on the box itself, with my favorite being the sound activated mode. I envision this to show off my master set of Pokemon ETBs, which if you're not a fellow trainer are just large boxes inside large boxes that have a cute photo on the front. And wait for it, wha-bam! There's plenty of space to accessorize even more, but come on. The lights, somewhat aligned boxes inside, and knowing they're protected from collecting dust may just be worth its price tag, but if you've got a boyfriend who's obsessed with toys, collectibles, or even tech, this may be the perfect gift that they didn't know they needed until now.
A lot of learning when building my first gym. Some things I really love, some I found I didn't after using them for a while. Thankfully, Bells of Steel carries basically everything you need to get set up at home. Not only are they Canadian, which I love, they've got a showroom in Toronto, so I got to see and test the gear in person first. And found that the Hydra system is perfect for anyone in a tight space, like a basement. Shout out to Bruce over at Bells of Steel for being a fan of the channel and offering to build out a blackout gym rack for us. And yeah, they didn't disappoint.
Everything feels sturdy, nothing is loosey-goosey, and more importantly, comfortable too, whether you're sitting, gripping, or dropping anything as well. Speaking of which, they also included the NUOELL adjustable dumbbells, which I prefer over my old Bowflex because just look at the size difference when lifting only 10 pounds. Don't worry, the beauty is that it can also go all the way up to 80 pounds too, and you bet that I pulled my back for this shot. When stored away, it takes up as much space as a giant watermelon, but knowing it carries a whole rack worth of weights is a game changer for any tiny gym. Then if you want to pretend to stay organized, there's the gear tree, which assumes you actually clean up after you work out, as it offers holes for a barbell and enough pegs to keep all your accessories in one place too. On the Hydra rack, I opted for the safety strap belts instead of a bar as they feel way better when sitting on them, and so far haven't had any fear of them breaking. As for the barbell, we obviously went for the Cerakote matte black powerlifting bar. Yes, the paint can slowly chip away as you use it, but who doesn't love a few battle scars? Below us though, I think their gym mats were probably my least favorite. While they are thick and absorbs impact, you can feel the groove cutouts while walking, and I think I just have to get used to it, but it definitely does the job keeping my floor safe otherwise, especially from these. The all black bumper plates, powerlifting style, so they're all the same size no matter the weight, with these angled edges to easily grip onto. Combined with the metal core, sliding these babies in place, not only does it sound good, it just looks friggin' sick too.
One day. I'm thinking of painting the whole room black, adding in some LED light strips, and calling it the dungeon, because working out scares my muscles.
So while we've got the equipment set up, we're only about 20% there. It's messy, I'll probably switch up the orientation of the rack, but when we complete this blackout look, we may have to do another dedicated episode.
I hurt my back the other day, so he had to sub in.
And for the real ones, sometimes it just be that type of day. Now a few other knickknacks. If you're following along my Pokemon journey to collect a master set of Magikarp cards, I came by this poster at a random store, knew I had to have it, and I was not wrong. The art elevates the space, is totally relevant, and will stop you in your tracks the moment you see this, which just adds to my obsession of all things Magikarp, but Jaden believes this is what they sound like. Leave a W or L in the chat if you agree with him. I also picked this baby up at my favorite card store. Imported straight from Japan, you'd be surprised how much plushies cost nowadays, but the quality is totally worth it. And the cute mini design fits really well with the rest of my oddly growing plushie collection as a full-grown adult. Now, I was hesitant to buy this one as there are plenty of dupes and copies of this, but I knew I had to get the OG. Ring-A-Date is a giant plastic calendar that utilizes these rings to identify the date. And while the whole thing feels like flimsy, cheap plastic that you'd get from packaging of a toy, this certified OG metal plate on the side to tell you that it's the real deal is a nice touch. However, while I love all things oversized, finding a spot that would let it breathe was pretty tough.
I don't know. I really like it and I love the style of it, but I have no idea where to put it. So let me know what you think.
Edifier sent this speaker sometime last year, and I regret not opening it sooner, because if you're looking for one of the best looking pair of knockers around, this is it. At about the size of a cereal box, it packs a punch, not only in volume and bass, but the light show built in is adjustable too, with several different modes to choose from. They also offer a USB-C and USB-A ports specifically for charging your devices while playing music. So it's perfect to set and forget and let your K-pop fantasies come to life. Physical buttons are rare, but always a win for me. And when the light show syncs with the music, it's the exact cyberpunk vibe that we strive for. Eye-catching, super distracting, but gives you all the energy you need when lifting heavy.
However, one of my favorite collectibles is from Kith and their Mahjong set. Just look at the detail on that. Oh, bro, come on. I don't actually play Mahjong, but I couldn't pass this up. We actually cracked it open while filming right now, so now we can actually take a look at them. It's got this see-through back design with Kith in gold, and in the background, it's tiled with the logo as well. So you really gotta love Kith. They even have the custom Kith dice, and what I assume you use to win the big dollar bills. Honestly, I just got it for this wicked black leather. This is starting to become my collectible shelf. Because about 3.5 of you asked in our last video, I'm going to show you my Gundam collection. And if you know, you know. To point out some of my favorites in no particular order, these are mini destroyed Gundams in a whole pack. The new BitLot collection, because I'm collecting all things RX-78-2. It's not Gundam, but I'm also an Iron Man fan, which this collection comes with one, but also the rest of the DC universe too. I found this one in a convenience store, so I hope it's real. A transforming Rubik's Cube. Some of my recent finds, these sushi build your own kits where each rice is its own piece. This one's for pure nostalgia. And this one too. I'm probably never going to open this because it's just so freaking cool. And this build your dim sum cart is pretty legit. Hagao, siumai. The accessories for them too, like this standing cage thing. One of my favorite recent finds, these tiny keychains, and I have the whole set. It also includes an RX-78 too. What else? We have this Tomika, because again, RX-78 car, but also, come on, that's pretty freaking cool. Probably the ultimate RX-78 the PG version, which I do plan on building one day. This is probably my favorite stack. If you know, you know, and you probably didn't even know that there's a Nike Gundam. 2 of them. And some recent pickups, RX-78, obviously, the Fragment and Gundam collab, which is full gray. When I saw this one on StockX, I had to get it. I don't do a lot of cars, but I picked up these 2 for the memories when I visited Hong Kong, and Need for Speed. If you know, you know.
The goal is to be unique. I'm not trying to look like any other house, so I'm just trying to find the coolest, rarest, and most interesting products for this series, and accessorizing my home with the craziest gadgets has become a new addiction.
Let me know if we should do an episode 4 and what room we should do next, but that's it. I rest my home accessories.
I'll do it.
I can't do it.
Do it.
It's so proud.
You know where that's been. Ew.